Okay, cool.
He said he doesn't like the trailer clowns. I didn't even see any trailer clowns.
Oh yeah, I didn't even see that either. I don't know.
I didn't like the trailer clowns. What trailer clowns? I don't know. Is that like trailer trash, but they're clowns? I don't know. Weird.
So the thing about Sweet Baby Inc., like from what I understand, and this is how it all started, was that the Kim Belair, I believe is her name, the CEO, drew attention to a group on Steam. This is for anybody in the chat that doesn't know what's going on. There's a group on Steam that was keeping track of these games that were made by Sweet Baby Inc., even though, as far as I know, their website had all the stuff they worked on posted on their website. But somebody on Steam was making a list basically drawing attention to games made by Sweet Baby Inc. because they didn't like what Sweet Baby Inc. was about. And then there's a Streisand effect, which, by the way, don't be that person. This comes from somebody that doesn't understand internet trolling. Like there's certain things you can like not talk about, and that's fine. And there's some things you want to bring attention to. I think bringing attention to that list was really stupid. I probably would have never done that myself. So that was not a great moment. But then that started the spiral of this. And then people started looking into everybody attached with Sweet Baby Inc., past employees, bring up their opinions, trying to say they're racist and all this other stuff. It became a cycle of like witch hunts on employees of Sweet Baby Inc. And then connecting it to BlackRock and DEI and ESG, which, by the way, they said that they don't have any connection to any sort of rating system, but that's not enough for people that have conspiracy theories about it. It's a real... I don't understand how it's... I get that people wanted to be Gamergate too. I don't see how it's such a big issue, though, because it's not like they work on every game in the industry. There's far too many games out there, and they're hired by the people that are making the games. It's not like they're going in and pushing the doors down.
They're lying hard about it, because it's like, if they just base it on what's actually happened, it's like, you've got a handful of game studios that have, again, hired them, asked them, wanted them to do this. That literally have not been forced by any, butch lesbians kicking in doors or anything. And yet you see them acting like, I've seen posts where they're like, oh, you can just assume that it's them with every game where there's some kind of woke stuff that Sweet Baby's involved. Look for because I got a video by a channel that you're familiar with. We're vaguely familiar with, you for sure, DJ. That we can kind of get their perspective on it and like, well, how are they looking at this? But let's check this out first.
The gay card carrying people in the world, the trans card carrying people in the world, queer people in the world, whatever, however you want to say it, that we have this ability to make things better for us, but we just choose not to do it. We choose to do it in the hardest way possible. Like coming up with a consultation firm for marginalized communities that just helps with the narrative in games, that is a tool for people to use. If in fact we were doing all of these things and we had the power to do all these things, wouldn't we just be doing them? And if we were, wouldn't it be covered up in a way that you wouldn't even know it? I mean, I feel like it's just a weird thing that we're so smart as gay people that we're able to do all of these like almost insidious, to a Cobra type stuff from G.I. Joe, where we're inside governments and facilities and businesses and doing all this covert stuff, but we're also really stupid because of the pronoun things, and we're really dumb because of all the pride events we have. So
the enemy is both weak and strong. That's it.
And I have to bring that up every time because I don't think people are quite aware that that is the sort of that's how they function. That's what they do. They create this narrative where we're out there doing all these awful things, but we're also so weak and they're winning the war. And that's what makes it propaganda. And that's why people don't understand that. They get wrapped up in it and they don't look at it from an outside perspective. And if queer people were able to just turn the tides, why would they be functioning as a consultation firm for more representation in media? Like, why would they have to do that? Why would a company like Sweet Baby Inc. have to exist if it were just so easy to take over everything? I
mean, also just so I didn't know this, but it makes sense now why I guess a lot of focus is on Sweet Baby Inc. is because they worked on the new Suicide Squad game.
Right, so, which is very poorly received. It's a game that a lot of people like, so I get it.
Yeah,
but they also worked on God of War.
Yeah, exactly. God of War, Spider-Man 2, fucking Alan Wake 2, and a bunch of other games. Like it's the same shit we see all the time, where people just focus in on one specific thing.
Yeah.
Wait, do you mean these guys cherry pick?
Yes.
You know what, Bob? I think I
Never
do.
encountered this before.
Oh, it's
So
not prepared
Jasper
for
said
this.
that your boy Zach did a video on Sweet Baby. It's good old fashioned extortion. So in what way though? In what way? Like I don't want to run down a spiral of conspiracy theories to get to the point. Like tell me
Yeah.
what the material harm is and what Sweet Baby Inc. is doing.
Well, we've got a video
creating
right
something,
here
you
where
know?
they
All right, go
kind
ahead.
of say some stuff about it, but like yeah, I just wanted to say that I thought of something the other day because I see your boy Zach's videos pop up on my YouTube and shit. It's like every single one of them. Basically, if Twitter just ended tomorrow, his YouTube career would be over.
Is it
Because
really
all
just
that
a
dude
Twitter
does is
farming
find
account?
tweets and fucking
okay.
and then just ramble his bullshit about a tweet. That's his entire fucking channel. It's insane. Anyway,
I mean, I feel weird calling it your boy Zach. It's fucking Richard Meyer, guys.
it's Richard C. Meyer. Yeah, it is weird calling him that.
Ya boy, Zach.
Yeah. Okay, so here is a video that I was like, maybe these guys might have, I don't know, good take. There's generally sometimes this guy has had some okay takes considering the folks he traffics with, but
All right.
so we got Geek Getaway here.
All right.
And then some other people have no idea really who these people are. So
yeah.
But maybe they got some smart commentary. Who knows? No, I do. I know they don't.
Strong arming the industry and everything. Spider-Man, Alan Wake, ridiculous phishing. Devs speak up in support of consultancy. Damn it, studio Sweet Baby Inc. After online group claims firm pushing agenda into games it worked on. Online group. I wonder what that means.
Yeah.
Gamergate 2. Gamergate 2. Electric Boogaloo. Here we go. Hell yeah! I'm excited.
Literally rubbing his hands together at the idea of another Gamergate.
Can't wait to harass some women online.
Yeah.
Just so you know, apparently this article, when it was tweeted out on Twitter, on the Twitters, it got community noted that they don't mention in this article how the Sweet Baby Inc. employees were attacking people and calling them names and calling people babies and calling people, gamer words.
Okay.
Wait. We're talking about like the CEO, right? Kim. Is that who he's referring to? Is that?
I don't know.
I know Kim was the one that people were saying made a lot of really dumb online comments, and there was more than one. I only know about the videos that were shared and the first comment that came out. So maybe there was other stuff that was said.
And I mean, maybe that's a bad idea to do that as a company. Really,
it is 100%.
Yeah.
However, the fact that these guys hold them to that standard whenever like all they do is talk shit about people and like instigate people on the internet, you know what I mean? Like, and then you see how they interact with each other and whatnot, and probably, yeah, it's that basically everything that he says here. Don't spoil it, but I'm gonna spoil it. Everything that could have happened, any response that could have been made from Sweet Baby Inc. or the developers, which the developers apparently have also said some things in response, it's all evidence of how they were right in the first place. Because, I don't know. It's this conspiratorial thinking that I can't understand, where you have to just be so desperate to like believe the pre-drawn conclusion that you're starting with that you just will take whatever and twist it back that way.
Calling us evil.
Calling us evil.
Mary Kenny, Associate Narrative Director at Insomniac Games, has discussed the current online discussion surrounding narrative development and consultancy firm Sweet Baby Inc. To recap, Sweet Baby Inc. recently became the target of a group which claimed the company was forcing studios it worked with to increase diversity within its games and accused of it of pushing a, quote, woke agenda into the industry. Following a report into the claims by Kotaku, a number of game developers have spoken up to clear up misconceptions about what companies like Sweet Baby Inc. actually do. I'm going to stop you right fucking there, okay? Eurogamer, let me stop you right fucking there. Okay? If a company is being accused of nefariously injecting personal politics into their games. They're being accused of all these evils, like Potion Sword Run, just showing up in the middle of a stream. And then suddenly, game developers...
I gotta look into some of this. Leslie's saying it.
Not the companies, but the game developers are coming out, right, to defend them. When the accusation is that if they don't listen to Sweet Baby Inc. will, as the head of Sweet Baby Inc. said herself, terrorize the members of the company.
All right, let's check that real quick.
That goes back to Kim talking about how if the other employees don't want to participate in diversity, and I'm paraphrasing here, that you just don't include them in any of that stuff until they either don't want to be there or decide that it's within their best interest to get involved with it. But again, this is consultation stuff. This isn't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that any of this is. So the problem with this argument is that Sweet Baby Inc., there's no way for them to get reprieve in anything, because if they already believe that Sweet Baby Inc. is forcing people to do things, then Sweet Baby Inc. can't exonerate themselves, and the companies that have hired Sweet Baby Inc. can't exonerate them, which means there is a no-win scenario here. So nothing that they say will be enough for people that are criticizing them to exonerate anything they're doing. Am I getting that right? That's kind of what they're in. They're in a no-win situation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is like if you're accused of murder and somebody that's like, potentially, I don't know, was around whenever that murder happened, comes out and says he actually didn't murder somebody. That means you definitely murdered somebody.
Right.
I guess.
I'm trying to figure out, because this is the same way when Eric and Az talked about Marvel switching up and doing different stuff or whatever, and that it wasn't enough, you know what I mean, that they would never accept it or whatever. I don't think there's any scenario, and I have not talked to Tony since this whole thing happened, so I've not been on a stream, but I don't think there's any scenario that people that feel this way about Sweet Baby Inc. would change their opinion about it. I don't believe that there's a situation where that would happen. So it's just going to be more and more like dogpiling as this goes on, I'm going to say.
So there's seems like a really good article by Yahoo News from 12 hours ago on this, that we can check out. So yeah, at least we have this to look at. Please don't let me forget to look at this, because I don't want to watch this fucking video and then not. Yeah.
So Chandler, this was like, I've made 2 videos about Sweet Baby Inc. And this is kind of like my take in my second video was, if Sweet Baby Inc. were a conservative consulting firm doing the exact same thing, except in the opposite direction, the vast majority of the people that are complaining about it would have nothing to say. And I'm not saying that as a theory. I 100% know that.
Yeah,
100%.
I don't know a whole lot about Tony. I know that we disagree on quite a bit, but like at the same time, he has had takes that like I was surprised that he's actually not as bad as I thought or whatever. Like about the whole Soska Sisters thing, his ethical considerations on that were fucking pretty spot on, except for then whenever he went on to say that the poster that had apparently satanic imagery was worse than the actual exploitation of the girl. That I don't agree with that, but everything else he was spot on. So this was weird to me.
It wasn't okay. So again, gosh, I haven't talked to him much about it, because on the streams we typically just talk about like Comicsgate and Eric July, but wasn't Tony pretty prevalent in the Gamergate stuff? Wasn't that because he was a reporter, he was working writing articles or things for gaming news when all of that kind of went down? Is that kind of where that's started?
Yeah, generally what I understand was the case. I mean, I don't know what he was doing, but I know that he was prominent in Gamergate, and that's why, or at least he was really deep into it or whatever, and focused on it. So that's why he gets so excited about the prospect of it too, because give me those glory days, man.
Yeah.
I guess.
I don't know. I'm not going to pretend like I'm an expert on Gamergate 1. I just know the surface level stuff. But to me, this feels like not just in this stream here, but just in general, the people that are kind of going in on this, it feels like an exaggeration of like the situation at hand. Because Sweet Baby Inc. gets hired
Mhm.
And if you act like they're terrorizing, why would you hire a company that inside the industry goes in and terrorizes your
Right.
workers? Why would you do that? I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense to me. If I'm making games and I have an option to just make the game I want to make or hire this firm that I know from other people that work in this industry come in and do all this stuff, why would I do it? And you can't say, oh, it's because they're controlling the industry, because if that were the case, Sweet Baby Inc. would be doing this to every game studio, but they're not. It's not even close. It's actually what, like 20 games or something? So I don't know. I'm not big on conspiracy theory stuff. I need more like factual stuff. I mean, we can sit and talk about things, but
Well, so
I think
let's look at this. Actually, I just found a Substack
Okay.
article that kind of really goes into it, maybe better than the Yahoo one, but
yeah.
So this is thankfully a free Substack. What actually happened and why should you care? By Adam, name I'm gonna mess up if I say it. Sweet Baby Inc. has become the focus of some gamers' ire on social media, but what happened and why should you care? Companies About Us section, which we looked at the other day, last week, founded in 2018, Sweet Baby Inc. is a narrative development and consultation studio based in Montreal, working around the globe. Our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching the video games industry. We aim to make games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, more inclusive for everyone. It's worked on several high-profile titles such as God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man 2, Alan Wake, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Clients include Xbox, Ubisoft, Square Enix, Rocksteady, EA, Wizards of the Coast, practically all the big name players in the industry. So what does it do? And they bring in diverse voices to solve diverse problems, blah, blah, blah. So here's a comprehensive list of what Sweet Baby Inc. can potentially work on if it's hired. Writing, cinematics, dialogue, UI, UX writing, barks, copywriting, etc. Narrative, story pitches, world building, character creation, narrative design, story feedback and tweaks, and more. Representation, cultural consultation, sensitivity and inclusivity reading, risk and opportunities assessment, and more. Development, full-scale game development and interactive fiction. So, I mean, that's a pretty broad range of shit that they could do.
Yeah.
So I actually want to go to the Yahoo article real quick about because there's something that's said here. This is definitely taking this Yahoo article does take a bit of a like, oh, these fucking people kind of approach, and I don't think that helps necessarily, but you know, talking about like the chuds, essentially, just kind of like dismissing. So Sweet Baby employees maintain that overall their job is to provide assistance to companies that already want to improve already existing diverse elements. So let's fucking read that sentence again. Provide assistance to companies that already want to improve already existing diverse elements. Because it seems like Tony honestly kind of has maybe a bit of a reading challenge going on. So I just want him to really take that in. As per the company CEO, who, you know, she's apparently the devil. But the perspective is never that we're coming in and injecting diversity. For the most part, it's the reverse. What? They're taking out diversity? No. It's that the company has created a character, a diverse character, and they want to make that character more representative of real life people and experiences and more interesting. There you go.
I think essentially is like if I were to make a game and I weren't to include somebody from another cultural background or another community that I'm not a part of, I could call up Sweet Baby Inc. and go, hey, I've got this character. This is who they are. This is what their background is. I don't know a lot about this. Can you come in and help me make sure that this is done in a way that is respectful and makes sense? That's pretty much what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the idea I have for a comic book that I was working on, like I was legit like getting deep into working on the preliminary stages of it whenever the initiative just kind of happened. You know, it's like been sidelined since then. But like it is literally revolves around kind of like several different characters that are from various marginalized groups. And I'm just like, man, this is a really good idea that I have, but I don't feel like I could fucking represent this as well. So I was like actually going to, you know, start talking with people of those communities and, you know, make it kind of like a collaborative thing. And yeah, that's.
You could just hire Sweet Baby Inc.
That's what I'm thinking I'm going to do now. If I make a video game of it.
Or Rip Ascend. Rip Ascend might be able to help you.
Oh yeah, represent.
Hey, look, I'm going to hire them both and heal the world. Okay.
So Sketchy here says that to reputation radioactive, so no company can hire them, and despite no valid criticism. I do realize that is that's pretty much the goal of all of the pushback on these things, is to make it so that companies feel threatened. See, it's really funny that they use terrorize as the term for like Sweet Baby Inc., but then at the same time they're boycotting is a threatening these other companies.
So here's the uninitiated observer who gets riled up over Starfield daring to let you they them in space. Sweet Baby may very well represent everything terrible about video games in the modern era. But in case you aren't like that, I feel obligated to lay out an explanation. Narrative development company. Described as a consultation studio. So it starts with starts with the dev team has an idea. Maybe they already have an outline of the story, core gameplay loop. Maybe they've got a whole script and a playable build. Either way, something is missing. These problems could involve poor world building, an underbaked character, and so on. The team knows something is wrong, but not how to identify or fix it. However, as Kenny empathically states, Sweet Baby has no actual say on what makes it into the final game. Once again, Sweet Baby has no actual say on what makes it into the final game, Tony. If the dev team disagrees with them on something, the dev team doesn't take the note. It really is that simple.
Exactly. It's suggestions.
Baffling, this isn't the first time in recent days that the game developers have had to dispel such rumors. Here's Kyle Rowley, director of Alan Wake 2, having to set the record straight about Saga Anderson's ethnicity. The prevailing theory is that if we weren't for Sweet Baby, Saga Anderson would have been portrayed by a white woman. Is that true? First of all, why do you fucking care? Well, I mean, we know why, because you're fucking racist. Well, it's impossible to say, but does it matter? It's absolutely not true. To rephrase the obvious, Sweet Baby is about as capable of forcing a game developer to make grand sweeping changes to its story and characters as a contracted artist, musician, or catering company staff worker for office birthdays is. It's the prime business model of consulting companies to offer consultation. Maybe look that word up. It's no different than, I said it last time, like you get consultants for, like, you want to write a story about that takes place partially in, like, I don't know, the Middle East or something like that for half of the movie. And you're like, but I've never fucking been to the Middle East, Like, you probably want to look something up on the internet at the very least. Oh no, you're consulting someone else. It's fucking so dumb. Literally a non-event. They obviously aren't ruining games. Most recently, they were hired to consult on Suicide Squad, which hasn't been doing great by Warner Brothers' own admissions.
It could be that's just not a good game.
Right.
I mean, that's probably the
it's just like the movie thing. It's like sometimes there's going to be movies that don't do well, or video games that do well, that don't do well. But what about all the ones
why look at it through a rational lens when you can, like, create a narrative around it? Why would you do that?
Over the past few years, they've been called in to work on some genuinely solid games like Ragnarok, Shadow Gambit, Spider-Man 2, Alan Wake 2, which got an 88 from Yahoo. It's consulted. And there are some less than solid titles like Gotham Knights and Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance. Oh my God, it's almost like they're just a consulting company.
Why is Sweet Baby Inc. responsible for the failure or success of a person's game?
Because the assumption is that any inclusion of wokeness that's forced is therefore going to ruin a thing. So that's just the assumption that all these people have.
So they went into Ragnarok and were like, oh, no, we don't need woke here, even though that's literally what they're accusing them of. I mean, I don't... It's really exhausting trying to do the mental gymnastics around this, to be honest.
It is,